I was in a wingsuit base jumping accident. So, the people flying in squirrel suits down mountainsides, that was me. Between my just like pure gratitude for being alive, coupled with my identity background, it felt like moving into the medical space was a clear next step. Like, they had saved my life, plain and simple. And I just channel my energy largely into Credential Network, which is a lot of the purpose that's come from that.
Welcome to the Cowles Ventures Podcast.
Let's get her going then. Let's do it.
Sweet.
I love it. Well, yeah, first, thank you for taking some time out of your day. This has kind of been a long time coming, but I'm glad we got it working and all that. So, we just start from the beginning, not the very beginning, but kind of, as you become more of a prominent figure in the Spokane entrepreneurship ecosystem, there's a kind of a story behind that. We can kind of start there and then go into today and what the future holds for you guys.
Cool. All right, so we start with Spokane.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I moved here about 5 years ago. I was still working for the tech company that I was part of the founding team for. That was a Silicon Valley-based company. COVID happened. A lot of opportunity was opened to move to the places where we wanted to be, not just confined by where we were working. I had some family changes happen, and my entire family and I moved up here to Spokane. 3 generations, all right here. We love it.
They all moved at once?
My mom followed us a couple years later, but
that's pretty cool though.
Yeah, we got everybody here.
That's awesome.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
we love it. And Spokane's just been the best. It's really special. I was still working at that other tech job. I hadn't really tapped into the entrepreneurship community, but ever since founding Credential Network, I've dove right in and found a tremendous amount of support, like on every front, right? From advisors and fellow founders all the way to angel investors. Great places to co-work and collaborate with, interns, fantastic team members that have joined as well, all based here in Spokane. I've been nothing but stoked.
That's awesome. Going back a little bit, what kind of brought up the idea of Credential Network? Like what was your kind of inroads into, hey, this is a problem that needs to be solved and I'm going to go do that?
So the last company I worked for was a verified identity platform. I was pretty much employee number 1 over there, part of the founding team, and largely on the go-to-market side. I was traveling all around the U.S., meeting with different clients and exploring different opportunities. It was a great opportunity for me to constantly grow and learn and really develop out this company. And then back in December 2023, I had a huge accident. I've shared it a couple different times, but I was in a wingsuit base jumping accident. So, the people flying in squirrel suits down mountainsides, that was me. So I would travel during the week, and then on the weekends, I would park my camper van.
So insane. How did you get into that?
Exit points.
What was the inroads to that?
I always knew that was going to be my path. I think since like my early teens.
It was the wingsuit stuff.
I knew, yeah. I still am always about pushing beyond human limits.
Yeah.
Big into it and like pushing ourselves really hard. I grew up surfing. My dad was a surf instructor, and so I'd go down there and surf every summer. And I think that was the start. Then I spent a lot of time scuba diving. Moved in, I got my dive master and my tech diver, and like I said, I had a really cool balance with the last tech company because I would travel constantly and I'd have a couple days just push into my own physical development, I guess, right, and mental, right, and then after scuba diving, I got really into skydiving. I think actually once I started making real money, because skydiving isn't cheap,
right,
that let me open up the floodgates, and I literally moved into the camper van, started living at the drop zones.
That's so wild. You had the most interesting weekend updates. They're like, what'd you do this weekend? Everyone's like, soccer game, went to dinner. Yeah. You're like, nope.
20 skydives a weekend. Yeah, I was I was charging, man. And then from skydiving, it was a natural transition to base jumping, and skydiving. I started wingsuiting, combined the two, and I ended up with 1,000 wingsuit skydives, about 500 base jumps total. Couple hundred which were wingsuit base jumps in epic places all over the world.
I've seen some videos. They're pretty sweet.
Yeah,
for people that aren't familiar, skydiving, obviously you jump out of a plane,
yep,
parachute comes out. The difference between base jumping and wingsuiting.
Sure. So the difference between skydiving and base jumping is you're jumping out of a plane or like a hot air balloon, right? A non-fixed object, and which typically gives you a lot of margin in the sky.
Right.
You have thousands of feet if something goes wrong. And then base jumping, you're jumping off of a cliff. So that can be a multi-1,000-foot cliff. It could be a couple 100-foot cliff. So there's even a big margin within base jumping in itself. And then you have standard base jumping where you jump off, pull a parachute, your parachute opens. Like that's what my wife does still to this day.
Really?
Yeah. Allie's all about it.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then wingsuiting, you put on a fabric suit. It's ram air, so it fills when you jump. It fills with air, it gets pressurized, but enough where you could still deploy a parachute. You fly through the sky. You kind of like fall forward, but wingsuiting technology is getting really good. And then you deploy a parachute. The idea is to land safely and be able to do it over and over again. Sure. I ended up having a parachute malfunction that had me landing on a hillside. I hit a boulder with my whole body. It wasn't ideal. Yeah. And I broke my right leg. Required 20 screws and 2 plates to kind of piece the ankle back together. And then 8 vertebra, 7 ribs, and punctured both my lungs. So I got a lot of metal going on here. I'm kind of pieced back together.
TSA hates you.
Believe it or not, titanium right through the.
Oh, there you go. No problem.
Yeah. Like it's actually never been a problem on that front.
There you go.
Yeah, once I got out of the cast, I was smooth sailing. But yeah. So anyway, I had the accident, and between my just like pure gratitude for being alive, coupled with my identity background, because again, the company I was working for, verified identity in GovTech, it felt like moving into the medical space was a clear next step. Like they had saved my life, plain and simple. I was dead on a mountainside. The medical industry helped me get back to life again. And I thought my life would be radically changed, but like because of the incredible physical therapy I got and the different surgeries, I mean, I'm back to moving really good again, which nobody expected. Yeah. Right. They were all like, yeah, we'll help, but let's do it. And it worked. And so for me, I wake up every day really grateful for my second chance and all the people that have helped. My family has been massively supportive, this whole community. And I just channel my energy largely into Credential Network, which is a lot of the purpose that's come from that. And this book, which we have as well. Yeah. So we've done a few other things where my focus is to kind of give back. Credential Network's a credentialing platform that helps doctors and nurses go through the credentialing process. To give people context on that, because I know that's going to be our next question. The idea is that for any regulated industry across the United States, you've got licensed professionals who have to maintain their license and a set of credentials. Maybe that's continuing education, background checks, things like that, in order to do their job. That's put in place because of public safety. Right, you don't want an electrician who isn't actually licensed to work on your house.
Some guy's like, I'm pretty sure I know how to do this. Set your house on fire.
Exactly, and that happens. Right, like it's a big thing. It's a huge reaction from society because of problems that we faced in the past, and that happened pretty prevalently in medical, where you've got people's lives in your hands, and there were people who took advantage of that, and a rare few, but they still happened, where they harmed individuals or killed them through the process. And that's why credentialing became so critical in the medical space. I mean, it just makes sense. Right. No, but as a result of that, the past decades of credentialing have become really cumbersome. And it's a super complex process for doctors specifically, but also physical therapists, all sorts of different licensed medical professionals have to go through credentialing, and it could take months to complete that process. So they get a job, which already took a while. Yeah. Now they're sitting around waiting for credentialing to happen. And that's for their whole suite of credentials to go get verified to make sure they are who they say they are, and they can actually do this job, get privileged with the hospital if it's for a larger system. And then there's a whole layer of complexity around health insurance companies, which we call the payers. And there you have to, as a doctor or physical therapist, be enrolled with each of the health insurance companies, all of which have their own processes, their own timelines. You have to get the form right. If not, you get rejected with just them. And then you can't see patients who have United Health or Blue Cross. And so it's just all these layers that we saw as an issue. And through my whole medical experience, I think I like to say I couldn't lift my arms, but I could ask questions in the beginning, right? Again, now I'm clearly going again, but I just asked a lot of questions, specifically around the identity and credentialing side, because they're so heavily intertwined. And then it all came down to physical therapy with Brian Cronin over at U District.
Shout out U District.
Yeah, huge fan. And Brian called credentialing a constant headache, and I said, I think we can fix that. And that's what we've been doing ever since.
I love it.
Yeah, we've been charging. And I've got a stellar team helping me tackle the problem. I wake up super proud that I get to work with the people that are on the team.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those situations where I'm like, wow, I can't believe they're willing to come work here, right? With me, with Jeff, we're really lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I heard you closed some funding recently.
Yeah.
HSSA, big Spokane. Are they Spokane specific?
Spokane County specific.
Spokane County specific. Big
Yep.
funders to a lot of great organizations in Spokane County.
Yep. So to give everybody context, we have this incredible organization, HSSA, here. And what they do is they have a pool of funding that they specifically give in the form of grants to healthcare and bioscience companies to help drive economic growth and development. It's, I believe, around 25% of Spokane's economy is healthcare and bioscience.
Yeah.
So it's a huge part of our economy here. And the idea is to build companies that provide high-paying jobs in the area to bolster and boost the economy. And we've had the pleasure of being the recipient of both phase 1, and we just got the phase 2 grant. Immensely grateful. And I will say, from a Spokane startup scene, we've got a lot of really cool things going for us. We've got Ignite, and then we've got Launchpad Inland Northwest. We've got some really cool actors on that front. Evergreen Bioscience, of course. But I think HSSA it's a huge thing that should be drawing top talent entrepreneurs to the area, specifically in health tech, because a company can come here and get up to $1 million in non-dilutive funding just for building a team here. And Spokane's a phenomenal spot. It's beautiful. It's a perfect sized city and greater area. Tons of nature, fantastic cost of living as well. Like, I have found it to be the Goldilocks for building the company and having the right kind of talent here. And so for me, it's an excellent tool where I get to go out there and share with my fellow founders that are outside the area of like, hey, if you're building a health tech company, you should build it in Spokane. So I'm definitely a huge champion. But we're also going to be sharing our product with Spokane County at a tremendous discount over the next couple months as a thank you for getting that HSSA funding, because it's everybody's tax dollars that are going into helping support our business and keep it going. We, of course, have also gotten funding from traditional investors. We closed $1.2 million pre-seed round and $500,000 earlier in 2025. So that, coupled with the $1 million grant, has given us good runway and the ability to really pursue building out one of the best credentialing platforms in the industry. So
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Awesome. Thank you, Spokane, for all the support. Super grateful.
Kind of looking at this holistically, if it's been a known problem, and obviously there are other people like trying to solve this.
Sure.
I guess question number 1 would be like, why has no one tackled this in a way that has actually helped thus far? And then how does Credential Network differ from those like larger kind of organizations that are attempting to try to fix that?
Yeah. By no means am I saying people haven't been trying to solve it.
Yeah.
First off, there's tons of people who put their time and effort into actually doing the credentialing. Those are the credentialing specialists or the practice administrators. I have a huge amount of respect for them. And what we're doing is just building them better technology. A lot of the times they're managing it either through paper and fax machines all the way to spreadsheets. I didn't even believe at first that that fax machines were still used, but it's a thing, right? And then there is technology that's trying to solve it. Now, a lot of what exists out there is large legacy systems, large monolithic kind of platforms that were developed a decade ago or even 5 years ago. And it requires a lot of engineers, upkeep, it's expensive, and they've built these complex workflows that address credentialing somewhat. But a lot of it was still just manual. I think in the past year to year and a half, maybe 2 years, a lot of the automation is starting to get great. And we're right there at the forefront of that. That's exciting. But the technology is just getting there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you built it 10 years ago, you couldn't build what you can build today. AI, sure, it existed, but not really. Not like what we got in February and in March and all the incredible improvements. And so where we differentiate largely is the fact that we are a new company. We're AI native. We have a really small team, but we're moving faster than most big teams, if not all of them. And we're also doing it in a SOC 2 Type 2 and HIPAA compliant manner because we're using the right tools from the ground up. We started with the right foundation. Again, I had already gone through a lot of the growing pains of building that identity platform. I knew what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it. And again, surround myself with excellent people who all have that same culture, same mindset. And that's allowed us to go build something that typically takes companies multiple years, all within sub a year to get it then fully secure, launched, ready to rock, being used by clients. Like, we're moving really fast. And, you know, within the past month, we just rolled out a multi-agentic architecture at our company where our engineers, they're not vibe coding. They just have agents that are helping do junior engineering work for them. And they're fully reviewing, working through it in like a hardened kind of infrastructure. We've been hesitant with vibe coding, especially all last year. It was starting to get good, but this year, man, it's gotten great.
It's pretty insane.
It's insane.
Yeah. Have you like personally used it to try to make anything?
So I use different tools every day, all day. I'm a huge fan. I literally had a conversation with Claude back and forth driving up to this meeting, and it's working for me right now while we're hanging out. Right, literally, like I'm on a headset, the phone's off to the side, no screens, no typing. I'm talking, it's typing, crazy. It's talking right back, right? And we're like planning out. I've got this board meeting coming up, and it's helping me plan and produce the deck and everything. I'm not out there directly vibe coding for our product because that's not my role. Right. And I do try to draw a hard line there. There's a lot of non-technical founders that are using it to build technology, and I'm super stoked on that for them too. Yeah. But we're in a sensitive data first kind of environment, and so I make sure that our roles are clearly delineated, if that makes sense.
Completely. Yeah. I mean, was it SOC 2, Type 2, HIPAA?
SOC 2, Type 2, HIPAA, we're pushing towards NIST, CSF. I mean, I want high trust down the line, so we can't sacrifice our security for speed. But again, that's where I found these brilliant engineers who are finding the balance for us.
Go-getters. So, for each one of those certifications, what does that process look like? Because I feel like that's a big thing, especially in the medical field or in healthcare, health tech, and all that.
Let's just talk about SOC 2 Type 2. Okay. HIPAA is a whole different beast, but to break it down, it's a framework that you follow in order to set a series of policies and then drive tests to make sure that you're following your policies. That's obviously overly simplified, but the idea is to make sure that we have hardened infrastructure across the board and human processes, and now agentic processes, all of which that don't open up or expose vulnerabilities. And then you have an auditor come in and say, okay, let's look at your processes and let's see, what you're doing, how you're doing it, are you following those processes? We have monthly and quarterly reporting we have to do internally where we're re-reviewing policies and making sure the team abides by it and does security training, that kind of stuff. And so again, we just started that from the very beginning. So it's been cost effective because every single time we onboard somebody, they're being onboarded with those same policies that we already thought through very well. We're still reviewing them, enhancing them. Every time we do it, they have to re-review them, that kind of stuff. And actually we use a brilliant tool called Vanta. I find a lot of inspiration for it because I don't know if I don't like the word gamified, but it has very much so gamified security where I'll go into our dashboard and it'll say, you're at 100% for SOC 2 Type 2. And then the next morning, it's like you drop down to 98%. I'm like, guys, I'm messaging the team like, come on, we got to get that 2% back. And, I love it because of how accessible it is to me. If we were doing it on spreadsheets, kind of like credentialing, there's no way it would be interesting to me.
Right.
But because Vanta has made it such, they've made it so accessible to the entire team to make sure that we're all doing things right. And AI lets me go through and ask questions about our policy and easily find the exact question I have and then know how our policy addresses it. It's made it, it's literally made compliance enjoyable. And that's also our goal on the credentialing side. We're taking something that people don't enjoy doing. Like, it's very rare somebody loves doing the paperwork of credentialing.
Like,
I actually think
awesome.
there's a lot of relationship building there, and there's a lot of extra work that credentialing specialists do that I'm sure is really fulfilling. But going in and manually looking up a database, putting it into a spreadsheet, that kind of stuff, I have yet to hear anybody say, yeah, that's the favorite part of my day. And now what we get to do is build a tool that helps them with it. We're not trying to replace credentialing specialist jobs. We're just trying to help make them as efficient as possible, right? Also, a lot of the people we talk to, like they're in revenue cycle management or a billing manager at a practice that also just got stuck with the credentialing work, right? And so that's where this kind of tooling will actually save them time and make credentialing less of a hassle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you were starting out and you're still kind of building out your team, but when you're just
Yep.
kind of building out like the founding team, getting that foundation laid, obviously had some success from the previous tech company in terms of leadership and hiring and all that. What was your non-negotiables in terms of, getting a company culture, people that were a good fit, people that were going to vibe with the whole like startup scene, kind of weird hours, not a 9 to 5, like very mission and values driven. Like what were you looking for those first couple of people?
I mean, I think you just said it.
Yeah.
You kind of spoon-fed me that one. You're right. What I did is, first off, I've tried to find people, majority of our team, who is willing to hustle. They have to really want it. There are tons of brilliant people out there that want a 9 to 5, and I think they're awesome and special and not for our team, right? Like that's the first and foremost. And I'm also not going to say that we don't allow our team to have balance. Like, I also don't expect them to be working 16-hour days like I'm pulling every single day. Mm-hmm. But what I do need is somebody, if something's going down or we need to do a big push because we have this launch coming up, I need to know people are willing to do that push. I've worked in an incredibly high-speed capacity for majority of my career, and I will say, for me, I handle stress really well, but burnout is real. And so I try to get ahead of that proactively with the team, and I don't expect them, like I said, to be pushing endlessly. We have to find balance. And by the way, AI technology is helping out hugely with that, where people can have balance in their life. They can still be incredibly high output, right? So just to summarize that, bullet point number 1, they have to be willing to hustle. They have to be willing to work hard. But secondly, in the day of AI, experts really do matter, right? For certain roles.
Yeah.
Like, I'm lucky because I have this principal engineer who is managing a team of agents, and we're getting really good output because that manager is giving really good input. If you are just vibe coding and listening to Claude and you don't have that kind of mastery of your skill, you're not going to get the same kind of output. And that's where we see a ton of security loopholes and bugs and issues coming from it. So what we did is we just have, especially for our engineering team, masters at their trade, but we just don't have a lot of them, right? And I'm putting everything we can to supercharging them. Just like the credentialing specialists, we have the same mindset in-house, right? I need to make sure that they have every tool and resource available to be successful. So yeah, willing to hustle, but also experts in their trade. There are some roles where I'm like, okay, even if they're junior in their career, like we have a whole team of interns. We work with Gonzaga for their new venture lab. We love that. I just am constantly impressed by them every day.
They do good stuff.
And then we just brought in interns from SCC, Spokane Community College, their health informatics program. And so it's not to say that I don't think we can't bring on people that are early in their career. That's where the hustle really comes into play. And they have to be willing to embrace the tooling to go out there and supercharge themselves and like really use it to be amplified. But again, there are some roles that you've got to be an expert at.
Yeah.
So that's where we're kind of figuring it out. Then the third piece, which is the non-negotiable, is culture. And we're lucky. We just have awesome people.
Just rock stars.
They're kind. Yeah. Like there's always a sense of, I don't want to call it conflict, but because we have people who all care, we're always constantly trying to find the best solution. And so we do a lot of problem solving, but always in a collaborative kind of way. And I've seen plenty of work environments where that's not the case. You get people who are super charge hard, but in turn it gets pretty negative as a result, and it gets bureaucratic and it gets full of drama. We're a small, tight team, and so I defend that really carefully.
Yeah.
And as a result, we just, every single person we bring in, they're typically very different personalities and mindsets, but we all share that kindness culture mindset, and that's what matters.
Love it. I mean, especially for you guys, I think in a smaller team, sometimes it's even easier to have that more collaborative, beneficial discussion. Because like in a big company, you might not even see the person for like the next week. You're like, oh, let's bill from accounting. That guy sucks. Like, I'm just going to blow up at the meeting and then, whatever. But it's like you guys, when you're working with each other within, arm's reach, like all the time.
Yep.
So like, problems arise, you got to squash that quick.
We are mostly Spokane based, but we all work from home in Spokane.
Yeah.
Right. And then we have a couple people, like our head of sales is based out of Arizona, but yeah, and then we all get together monthly, but you say arm's reach, but we just meet regularly because we're problem solving and we're figuring out how to build the best product possible. But it's a cool balance.
Yeah.
Everyone interacts, and that's what I make sure of too. Like a lot of the times you have engineering completely siloed from go-to-market, and I shouldn't even say that. There's different team dynamics. Sometimes you have a founder who's like pure sales first, and then you get a pure sales organization that's kind of like shiny object syndrome. I'm going to go solve this. Oh, this client wants this, right? And I make sure that Jeff and myself have the ability to let our team know what needs are out there and what problems we have to solve. But we're also pretty defensive of the product roadmap and making sure that the engineers have stability.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially as a startup.
Autonomy. It's hard.
Because, you get any client you meet with, you're like, oh, you're awesome, but I wish you had this feature. And you this one, you're awesome, but I wish you had this feature. And so by the end of it, you're like, okay, great, we have 50 new features we have to do to then appease all of these different people.
Dude,
and then
we've got 86 features on our roadmap.
There you go.
But we're really clear about understanding, how limited our team is.
Right.
We don't have a 100-person organization, right? And we go after that. We give them a little bit of space. We protect that, and then as a result, without all that context switching, our team can move really fast, right? I will say the product manager has a lot more context switching because I'm constantly like, hey, this idea. But yeah, Danielle just holds it down. That's great. Yeah, she's very, very strong at finding the balance. But again, we just don't put up any walls. So the engineers know the feedback from our clients. They know what's coming down the pipeline, but we also say, hey, here's your space. Go. You can still focus. We just don't want to keep them blind to everything else going on. It's a hard balance though, and as the company grows, we'll of course adapt to that.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how big we'll need to grow. We'll find out.
Okay. I love it.
In the day of AI, right?
Yeah.
It's like I also want to keep our product, because of where we've come from, right, and how mission driven the company is. I want this product to be as accessible to as many providers and healthcare organizations as possible. You get some technology companies, like even some of our competitors, where they have minimum deal sizes that's in the $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 range. I want a provider group, or I want a single provider, right? Like a single physician or a single PT who's got their own little clinic to be able to use our system in that same accessible price point as the large entities. And so we have to keep our costs down to make sure we can keep it down for our clients and partners. So we'll see, man. But AI is changing the game.
It's pretty wild. Yeah, no, there's some insane tools out there. I mean, I feel like every day, every week, there's something new coming out that's even better than the previous one, and then it's just trying to like constantly leapfrog, and it's insane.
Yeah, in the standard LLMs, I mean, like what we're seeing with Claude, also a huge source of inspiration for us.
It's a good one.
They are shipping every day, right? And then you get the leak, and you see all these new potential features coming out, right? And yeah, no, I can't wait to see what next month looks like for AI.
No, it's gonna be insane.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're looking at your kind of ICP, it looks like you kind of have a pretty broad range of what you guys could sell into at any one point. Is there any focus points when you're kind of road mapping your sales that would be more important or more of a focus than other areas?
So when we started the company, within our first couple months, we went out and got 6 beta partners, and they each represented different parts of the segment. So we had, they represented different segments. So we had a small physical therapy group, or I'd say maybe a medium physical therapy group, a small physician group. We had multiple billing practice management style organizations, and a large staffing firm. And what we did is we just interviewed them, got constant feedback, would come up with prototypes, and then a beta platform, and then an MVP. And in the beginning, we kind of realized that 90% of their needs were the same, and we love that.
Yeah.
That's a great thing.
I think
right?
it makes it
it's a
easier
huge,
for us.
huge discovery, and then there's that 10% of nuance difference.
Yeah.
So we focused our ICP, especially as we go to market, into a few distinct channels. I don't want to get into the boring side on that front, but what I'm confident in is that the platform we're building will easily scale to supporting a majority of the industry, even like the fringe use cases, right? And we love it. We love it because every single person we talk to, first off, doesn't love credentialing, and second off, wants a solution for it.
Yeah.
And so we're just, like I said, trying to make an accessible solution without overly diluting it by going after everybody. Because again, that 10% is unique. So we're starting with a few focused clients or ideal customer profiles, and building towards those. And then we'll keep scaling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
As founder, CEO, kind of running the whole show, I mean, how do you keep a level head and reduce or avoid burnout and like all of that with all the things that you have going on? I mean, do you have any routines, anything that you do to kind of help with that? I mean, how do you stay level headed?
So I'm going to take us on a tangent.
Okay.
So, or maybe I'll say I'm going to use an analogy.
Okay.
We'll get there. My wife is a professional athlete.
She's a rock star.
She's a rock star.
Yeah.
Huge, huge source of inspiration for me every single day, right?
She's awesome.
Like I'll wake up, get out of bed, walk outside, and she's like doing a 4-minute, 30-second mile on the elliptical, like just charging. It's crazy. I have to ride my e-bike to keep up with her as we're going up hills, like just really fast, but also super dedicated. And I've spent a lot of time thinking like startups are a marathon, not a sprint. But there are athletes who sprint marathons, right? And so that's what I've been working my entire career towards, is how do I go out there and sprint marathons, right? How can I do a huge push? Because I'm a big 16-hour-day work day kind of guy because I'm so passionate. If I wasn't, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But I am. Like I love what I'm doing, but I'll also say, like first off, I have to protect my sleep, right? And sorry, to get back to the analogy with Allie before I sidetrack again. Like I said, I've been training to sprint these kinds of marathons, just like Allie literally does that, right? And still, after every single race, after every single 50K push that she's doing, she still has recovery days. Then she has really intentional training days where there are certain days where she's going to go run longer and faster than she would on a race day. There are some days where she's going to go out there and do a 6-mile gentle run, which still is a 6-minute mile for her.
Yeah.
But, but that's
Casual,
the thing.
right.
She tempers it down, make sure she has the right nutrition, the right sleep, and spends a ton of time on personal care to make sure she's capable of constantly achieving that.
Yeah.
And especially now that my physical body is not capable of pushing hard anymore, mentally that's all I focus on now. I've been training for it my whole career, has helped me get to this point of being able to push really hard for the last year and the next year to come. But at the same time, I have the right fulfillment, the right passion. Like I wake up grateful and stoked every day. That matters. I do my best to protect my sleep as well, like and actually get enough hours in the day to eat well. It's mostly Allie's helping me out because she's like making these super meals and she'll just make something over for me too. Yeah, and so that actually matters, right?
Yeah.
Like if I'm just like living on cereal every day and not sleeping, I'm not going to be able to inspire, impress, or support my team properly, right?
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of going on the more like mental, I don't know if say spiritual aspect, but like coming out of the crash and the surgery and like all of that, I mean, how has that changed your life to have probably, I'm assuming, a whole different view of like waking up every day is a blessing, like of that whole aspect? I mean, you got any tips for people?
No,
That's it.
I definitely don't think anybody should go out and almost die. If you can avoid
It's not
it,
the solution.
avoid it, right? There's plenty of downsides to it. But I think do anything you can to wake up grateful, period. Like a lot of people are deep in social media and wanting what other people have.
Yeah.
Get over that.
Yeah.
Right? Like dive into reality, go find your passions, go find what makes you fulfilled, go do that. That could be a startup, that could be being a whitewater raft guide. There's a whole spectrum in there around what you find fulfilling. Go pursue that. Life is short, period. Whether you have an accident or not, the amount of years we get on this planet, really short.
Yeah.
Mine just happened to be a brutal reminder, but at the same time, I was already kind of living within that mindset. So it was a reinforcement. It wasn't an awakening for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, just live your best life.
Love it.
You know?
Do you do social media? Do you have any rules about that? Because that's a big topic of conversation of like, people know it's bad for you. Like everyone's aware that it's like really bad for your mental health and time management and like all that stuff. And yet it's just so addicting, like all the time.
Yeah, it's addicting, right? I did go viral last year.
Hey, there you go. Oh, with the dog
with
video,
the dog
right?
video.
Yeah.
Best thing to go viral over ever. Yeah, me and my golden retriever.
Yeah, I love it. We'll get to this. But
Allie.
This is right there.
Yeah. With that one, Harley on the right. So that was Allie just posted that because Allie's got 20,000 followers,
Sure.
and it's kind of part of her career to have that.
Yeah.
But neither of us are huge social media. Well, okay, I'm not a huge social media person. I don't post. I use LinkedIn a little bit because I find it interesting to see what's going on with the community. But I just like building things. That's what I found through my whole life. I enjoy building things, whether it's with my hands or with my mind, right? So like companies or physical products, that's my jam. And so Allie and I bought a camper van a couple months ago.
What kind of van did you get?
I've converted 6 now.
6?
Yeah, I'm a Sprinter guy.
Gosh.
I think they're the best chassis to build off of. And if you're going to invest your money and time into something, you should just do it quality if you can afford it.
Yeah.
And so we sold some things, bought a Sprinter van, took a little debt on, and we're now kind of boxing it. Usually I get obsessive over things.
I'm surprised you're not out there right now.
It's a superpower of mine, right? But in this case, I need to keep my obsession over Credential Network and the team I'm building and the product we're building. Yeah. So, and honestly, it would be overwhelming for Allie, who, she likes to work hard, but she also needs to protect her time for her career too.
Right.
And so we spend like 1 to 2 hours a night, maybe 3 hours a night, 3 days a week, converting the van slowly. We got a little shop outside the house. And so like we use that. It also helps me go to sleep because I'll get out there right around like 7 o'clock, right? Like call it a day for the work and then go work on it a couple hours. And then it gets me away from the screens. Because I think whether it's social media or it's just working, screen time's the worst for going to sleep. Yeah. And so anything to kind of create that gap is really valuable to my health. And I love building things. So it's a win-win.
Love it. I love it. Hope to see that someday. I've got a couple rapid fire questions for you.
Hit me with it.
Best early hire and why?
Generally or on
generally?
my team? Someone who compliments you. period.
Okay.
Nobody does everything well. You got to know your weaknesses, identify those, fill the gap. Number one,
Okay.
someone who counters you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe the most memorable mistake about scaling a company and how to change that or fix that.
Yeah. Don't hire shiny people, right?
Shiny
So like
object
there are you have to hire the right person for the right time frame of your company. And so there are some people who have found a lot of specialized success in their career. And because of that large amount of success, they've managed large teams. And they've had large teams to do a lot of the work. Right? And I'm not saying don't hire them at the right scale of your company, because those people are going to be excellent managers. For anybody building a startup, though, unless it's specifically for the network that person brings, find somebody that still has the hustle in them.
Yeah.
And it's very common if somebody is incredibly successful in a corporate or tech environment. I'm not saying they don't hustle as a manager, but they lose some of the tactical skills of implementing systems. They want to have an ops manager to do it for them, right? Or they want to have an SDR to pick up the phone and make the phone calls. Or they, and so for me, as I was scaling, if you hire top talent, you have to make sure it's top talent for the exact role you want, not the most successful resume you can find. You know what I mean? Like make sure all the qualities match, not just the resume.
Yeah, agreed. Doesn't have to be your favorite founder, but a founder that you respect and why.
Okay, so on my board of advisors, I brought in my favorite founder, Jake Weatherly.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a huge culture fit. He built Sheer ID from nothing to tremendously successful.
Yeah.
And he and I will have conversations where I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. And he'll be like, hey, I learned to go this route instead. Like he brings so much past experience, but every single piece of advice he gives always comes down to doing the right thing and the kind thing as well. Like he constantly reminds me you can build a business successfully without making significant ethical sacrifice.
Definitely.
We can do the right thing. We can help everybody.
Yeah.
And we can build a healthy business as we do it.
Love it. Any book recommendations or podcast recommendations you're listening to, or maybe that you come back to repeatedly?
All right. So there is so much shifting. If you listen or if you read a book about AI from October last year,
That's true.
it's wrong. It is not helpful. Yeah. Everything has changed.
Super outdated.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
Even blog posts. You have to be constantly reading yesterday's news.
Yeah.
And so that's all I'm doing is I'm fine. Like I actually don't have one human I'm following right now. I just go on there. I actually have Claude do a daily brief for me. Every single day I wake up, I get AI news that happened yesterday, right? And any channel that can teach or inform me about that. And it's great. It runs first thing in the morning, gives me up to date. It also gives me competitive knowledge, right? What are my competitors doing yesterday? And then I have it connected to different tools, so it gives me full company insights as well.
Love it.
And so use the tools you have, go find the most recent info about what you need. Like AI's out there, use that, it'll go find it for you. I don't have one that's gonna be excellent for you.
I think that's better than a specific recommendation.
Yeah, go find
Go do it.
AI's powerful. It'll personalize everything for you. You just have to tell it what you want.
Yeah.
Right? So don't listen to me, listen to it. No, don't always listen to AI, but you get the point.
Awesome. Okay, that's all I have. I want to thank you so much for coming on. I hope people got. Oh, actually, that's so false. Let's talk about your book.
Yeah.
Promote the book. This is a book. Almost made me cry when I read it because Kona is in the studio
Made me
today.
cry a few times.
It is a really well done book. I mean, the writing, because you guys wrote it, right?
We wrote it, yeah.
And then the illustrated by Melissa Murakami.
Yeah, she's based out of Bellingham or Bellevue. She's out
on
the west side. And she illustrated Kid and the Goat, which is a Spokane-based book.
Okay.
And I was meeting with Rick Rep, and I I wanted to use AI to illustrate it too, but there was way too much hallucinating last year for it to, like, there was no consistency.
Yeah.
And so I'm actually really glad the route we went because Melissa's incredible.
It's awesome.
And so Rick and I were chatting because he did a kid's book as well. And he brought in that other one. I said, wow, that's what I want my book to look like.
Yeah.
And so Allie and I reached out to her and we worked with her. She illustrated it up. She did a phenomenal job. We did like a little special edition for our wedding as well, which was nice. And then we just did our first batch of self-publishing for the book. Just for context for everybody listening, we wrote a kid's book called The Adventures of Paha and Harley. I found Paha on the side of the highway, like super tiny, saw like crystal blue eyes, was covered in like these little black bugs, and she's hiding in a bush. I'm lucky I even saw her. I had pulled over for a work call. It was really hot. It was out by Ritzville at the Paha Packard exit. So that's where the story begins. I had actually reached out to my buddy, who's an author. He's the editor of the book, Julian Wise. And he was like, Dylan, I get it. You found a dog. That's awesome. But like, where's the story? And I had kind of just put off doing a book after that because he was right. Like, we just had to let life unfold in front of us. And then, I met Allie, of course, and then her dog was Harley, who I'm now Harley's favorite and Allie's Pa's favorite. It works out perfectly. And so it kind of talks through that story. Then it talks through my accident and how the dogs played a huge part of helping me heal in my journey there, and then helping me get back to the sky. So 6 months after my accident, I was paramotoring, where you have a big old fan on your back and a big parachute. And in this case, I couldn't walk yet, so I had 3 wheels, and I just took off and flew around. Yeah, I still got the paramotor. And so that's kind of the start to finish, right? Finding Paha, the adventures, the accident, and then Paha and Harley being brave and strong for me to help me heal and get me back to my passions. And what we've done is we created a 501c3 nonprofit. Every single dollar or every single book we sell goes directly back into fulfilling the mission. It's 100% not-for-profit. And the idea is that we're going to start giving away books. So every single book we sell also gives a book away to a kid in a hospital. And then we're going to take the girls on a big old tour to go visit kids in hospitals.
No way.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And then the intention is so that way they can read the book, and then we can leave them little stuffed animals behind of Paha and Harley. So they have their own Paha and Harley to get them through their tough times. Yeah. And so that's what we're working on. Slowly on the side, but I'm really lucky because Allie has just been a total champion on it. Yeah. And so she's been really owning that. We were just, she surprised me with my birthday. There was a little spring festival across the way. I should have invited you. We had a little booth, and all the kids got to walk up and meet the girls, and like they would pet them and then read the book and then take pictures. And we got a little spot at the end for a Polaroid where you can tape in, because at the end it shows all the real pictures. 100% of the book is real, right? And so at the end it's got a little spot for the kids to put their photo in and be part of Paha and Harley's adventure. I
love it. I love everything about this book. Like, you gave it to me, and I was like, because we talked about it. You're like, we're writing a children's book. And I was like, okay, that's cool.
Well, so anyone listening, to really do some promoting here, go to pahaharley.org. Yeah. Paha, P-A-H-A, Harley, I don't need to spell that one out for you, .org. And then the first button you'll see there, you can buy the book. It's super freaking cute. Or reach on out and we can grab coffee and I'll let you read through the book as well.
It's awesome. Can't recommend it enough.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks for that shout out.
Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah.
Like, you guys,
that's the,
It's awesome.
That's the thing. That's what I love.
So I love it.
Thanks, man.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming on.
Appreciate
it. Talk more. I'll have to have you back on to get more updates as we kind of go through this journey. But I really appreciate you taking some time. And just thank you.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Thank you.